they come out clean.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Birds and the Buckets. I'm Rashad Milligan here with my co-host, Malik Brown. Malik, how are you doing this week?
Doing good, bro. Doing good. Good week, man. How we living?
Man, right now we living like we trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? You know, hurricane out, we trying not to die. That's the move right now. That's the vibes right now. Don't die. Hashtag don't die. Everybody spam it up in the comments, man. But hey, look,
spam it in the chat.
we got a special guest here today, Malik.
Yes, sir. We do.
Man,
we do.
we got. Hold on. There's a lot of presidents in the world. You know what I'm saying? You got Joe Biden. You got Chris Paul, the president of the NBPA, and then you have the president of the Trae Young Hive.
Yes, sir.
Everybody stand up right now, out of respect. If you're watching this at home, stand up right now.
Stand up.
If you're listening to this while you're driving in the car, park the car. Stand up. All right. We got the president of the Trae Young Hive in the building. Everybody, give it up for Mr. Kofie.
Yeah.
Yo, what's good? Yo, thanks for having me. How y'all doing?
We good, bro. We good. Hey, we're glad you're on, bro. We shot for the stars. We shoot for the stars, but on this one we did, bro.
I am not that hard to reach. I am a DM away. Ain't no managers, no agents, nothing. I am not that hard. Don't do this.
He said I'm my own man. I'm my own man.
We got the national right here, the national representation. Kofie, first of all, man, just how are you feeling right now? Everything like that. How's the summer been? How's the off season been for you? Watching the teams. What are you liking? What are you seeing right now?
Summer was good. I actually was in Vegas for Summer League a couple of weeks ago. I got to see Cade play, which was good, because I'm Trae Young Hive, like that's my dude, right? But then I'm also like I grew up a Pistons fan. I still am. So it's like one of those where it's like, yo, I'm a Pistons fan, but like, yo, what y'all doing over here with Trae Young, all of them, this is special stuff. I'm gonna support it. Also, I became a member of the Trae Young Hive like back in the rookie year because everybody was like. So here's the thing, y'all know how annoying Luka fans can get. So when Luka was doing like his thing, right, and then Trae was struggling because it was like growing pains, whatever, going from college, and then Luka was already. Everybody was like, "Oh man, the Hawks made a mistake." I was like, "Bro, I saw this man play at college. This man is also special. He just needs a little bit of time." So that's why I was like, "Let me just support Trae. Let's get the Trae Young Hive going and everything." But other than that, I'm good. I got to see. I was excited to see Sharif Cooper and Jalen Johnson play. They played really good in Summer League, so that was exciting. And then they got John Collins back, where it was like they re-signed John Collins and Lou, and I was like, yo, this is gonna be another fun team this year, So I'm still gonna like watch, I'm still gonna like look in, be like, how's Trae Young doing,
But you guys have over there, Detroit, talking about fun teams. You guys have a pretty fun. Well, Detroit has a pretty fun team over there with like just the youth and everything like that. Like their summer league team, it's pretty much like their team with Killian Hay. I'm like, dang, this is about the starting lineup, ain't it?
Yeah, I was like, these are the starters. I don't know why. The fact that it was like, yo, Detroit, their first five for the summer league, it was like, yeah, and then their bench came in. You're like, no, this isn't fun. Like, are y'all gonna be on the team? I don't know. Who knows? But whatever. But yeah, I'm excited because this was Detroit's first number one pick in like 50 years. Yeah, it was like I think the last number one pick was. I looked it up. The last Detroit number one pick was I think it was Bob Lanier. I can look that up
Lord
real quick
mercy.
To verify.
But
yeah,
like,
that's wild.
Because it was a very like we were all like as Pistons fans, we are known to just be like, okay, yeah, we're bad, but we're not so bad that we're a lock for the top three. For years and years, it was like, oh, we're bad, but like we're not like we're like 8th pick bad. We're like 12th pick bad. And so I used to call it Pistons purgatory because the team wasn't tanking, but the team was also like a couple of like games away from like making the playoffs. So now when you do that in this NBA, like you're just stuck, especially when you you don't draft well often, So that's why the Cade thing as a lock was like, yo, this was really. I was like, yeah, this is number one pick. I was gonna be fine with Cade, Mobley, Suggs, or Green. I was gonna be fine with any of those four. And given the Pistons number one pick, it's like, bro, y'all can't mess this up. Like it's statistically impossible.
The draft is too good this year.
I was like, thank you. I thank you for giving us a number one pick in a loaded draft because we really needed that. And it's been a long time since I've been excited to watch like the Detroit Pistons and be like, there's the future here. Like it's been a long time coming. So
how do you feel about Damboya? Because like he was someone entering his draft class. I was really excited about his potential and stuff, but I have no idea like how he didn't play much from the times that I have seen him. So how do you feel about Damboya?
I feel like lukewarm because it's like you see the potential. You always see the potential, but again, rooting for the Pistons, sometimes you see players that don't develop or they don't reach their potential until they like leave the Pistons. And so it might be like one of those situations where it's like maybe this team can't get the best out of him, but if he goes to another situation, who's to say? So that's one of those things where I get scared of, where it's like the development, but like all of the players in summer league looked pretty fine to me. So I was like really cool with that. I was like, hey, if we give Sekou like this, okay, this is a Pistons season where again expectations bar is pretty low. Still time to grow. K gotta grow, Killian gotta grow. Like Killian and K had like really good chemistry too in the summer league for a little bit, and just all of those players where Sadiq Bey looked really good. I don't even think he should have been there.
Yeah. So Sadiq, he was pretty good last year. He didn't need to be there.
I was like, when I saw Sadiq play, I was like, in Vegas, I was like, you don't need to be here. I don't know what are you doing? like you said, those players that are like, you are doing like grown man NBA moves in summer league right now. Like, you overqualified for this position right now. So it's like stuff like that.
And then Luka Garza, do you expect him to add anything? Because he had a good summer league and he made the team. So I'm like, oh man, maybe Luka Garza can sneak in and be a NBA contributor early.
I think he's a two-way. I think he got signed to a two-way contract. So like I'm not expecting like much from him this season, of course, but like from what I saw in Vegas, I was like, yo, this is really exciting, especially like when you draft a college senior now, everybody's like, oh, maybe they're past their foot, why didn't you draft someone younger? And I'm like, dude, he's polished. Like he's a big man with some skill. Like, and I can't wait to see that skill improve. Just because he's a little bit older doesn't mean that like the development phase is gone. So I'm looking forward to seeing that too. So
player of the year for sure. But I guess now moving on back to the Trae Young thing, just how have you felt about seeing Trae's development? Like he said, you saw it early on, but see him kind of develop into an all-star year two, and then with the 30-10 year two, and then what he did in the playoffs this past season.
I think that people had known what Trae was capable of from last year, but it wasn't on like a national spotlight. And as someone that has watched, Trae Young has one of the best high school mixtapes of all time, like On Ball Is Life. He has one of those. You see, Trae is one of the quickest players in the league. Like he has confidence through the roof. He's one of the best passers. I don't think people give Trae enough credit for his passing. I'll say that. Trae is one of the most creative and just audacious passers that we have out there. And it's so fun to watch him pass. And I think that's his. A lot of people in the league were like, oh, he wants to be a Steph Curry clone. But I'm like, no, he plays more like Steve Nash than freaking Steph Curry. Like it was when Trae is like not jacking up shots and just like commanding the offense, like pick and roll, all that. He can find players that are open, and the Atlanta Hawks gave him a ton of players that can just like get buckets as well this season. I was like, yo, that's when Trae's at his best, when he can just set people up, and then when he needs to hit that long dagger, he can. But it was so great to see Trae embracing the villain role, right? The Trae in the Garden, man, that is one of the most fun series that I've seen in a while because first of all, I live in Brooklyn. So we went to a I forget what the bar was called. It might have been called the Griffin. We went to this bar called maybe I think it's called the Griffin, and it's a Knicks Nets bar. And a lot of my friends in New York went to Georgia, like the University of Georgia. So they're Hawks fans. So we were Hawks fans at a Knicks Nets bar, and my friend was just talking all that cash shit, bro, and it was absolutely hilarious. I'm like, yo, let's go Hawks, and like all these Knicks fans are pissed because keep in mind this is what like the first good Knicks team since like I want to say when Melo was there.
The mellow years.
So
Yeah.
2014 with Chris Copeland.
Okay. But this was like the first Knicks team in a while. Like the Knicks were like, yo, this is we made the playoffs. Julius Randle, and then Julius Randle kept bricking shots. And my friend, this is one of the funniest things I've ever heard him say. He was like, Julius Randle most improved. Where he improved from? And the entire bar got upset. Funniest thing. And I'm just like sitting here trying to eat some chicken wings, and I'm just like, oh, I was like, hey, bro, like maybe we should calm down before. Can I pay the bill first? Like I can't just be like, when you go out, you want to leave someplace or be like, I feel like I need an exit strategy, but then they have your debit card on you, like
Were
But
you
then,
were you there game one?
I think it was either game one or game two, but we went to a couple other bars throughout the season. Throughout the series. We were like, yeah, because we went to a couple other bars for Hawks Sixers, which was also great. Trae Young went and played in New York and Philadelphia, two of the most hostile sporting environments in the world.
They booed Santa Claus.
They threw batteries at him, apparently. That's but watching Trey, how a lot of like younger players we talk about, people start to get, if they don't play well, people start to build the narrative being like, oh, they shy away in the playoffs, oh, they're just regular season, they're empty stats, all that, yada yada yada. And it was so good to watch Trey. Like, yeah, Trey had some bad games, right? Like everybody had some bad games, but no one said, you can't say Trey didn't shy away from that spotlight. He didn't cower in fear playing in front of a hostile Sixers crowd, man. That man led his team, and whenever Trey was off, his teammates backed him up. Whenever his teammates needed him to carry a little bit more, Trey did it. And that's so impressive for someone younger than 24 years old, like in the NBA. And I feel like, I don't think that, did the Hawks overachieve this season? Yeah. Like Eastern Conference Finals, did we all think that? Especially when Lloyd Pierce was starting out, and they had they overachieved. I can say that, but like at the same time, it was like, yo, this is a fun team. Like I know it's the playoffs, but the Hawks can legit play 10 people and Solomon Hill, but like they could play like 10 people and be fine. And I was like, yeah, I like this team. I like everybody on this team. Like it was just a fun experience, especially when it's like Trey was like talking to the like fans, and like he did that bow. Like that man loves that. He wants to embrace the villainy, and I'm all for that, honestly.
It's quiet. It's
So-
quiet a second here.
Yeah.
So back to the Hawks Knicks thing. I know you've probably seen the back and forth that Knicks fans and Hawks fans are doing this offseason. I've seen a couple podcasts. Knicks fans are going crazy. Like it seems like everybody is a Trae Young stopper on the Knicks team now. Do you feel like this is like a true rivalry, like the Knicks and the Hawks? Got the Christmas game coming, and then of course it's back and forth with the fans and whatnot. And then of course what happened in Madison Square. Like, is this building up to be like something big? In your opinion?
I sure hope so. I love a good NBA rivalry. I do. I love a good NBA rivalry that goes past the court and into the stands and the sidelines a little bit more. Like the fact that Trae Young got a Christmas game off of this, that's impressive. Like the Pistons ain't got no Christmas game in years, bro. Like Trae did it instantly. The NBA saw how exciting that series was, even though I think it ended in 5, right? I think it ended in 5. They saw how exciting it was. They saw it's the Garden, it's the market. Why don't you bring why don't you bring the star that New York Knicks fans have had on their mind the most for these couple of months and bring him for Christmas? I'm in. I will watch that game. Like I'm in. Like that's just good marketing. You can't knock that. I want to have more, because of course a lot of the NBA players are friends because they've like known each other through like AAU and like college and all of that. Like they grow up knowing each other. But it's good to like just be like, okay, we have this team, and I know you can go if you're a basketball fan, sometimes you can autopilot the regular season and be like, okay, yeah, we playing the Bucks, we playing the Clippers on TNT, yeah, cool. But if it's like, yo, the Hawks come to town 2 weeks from now, and everybody's like getting excited for that, but it's like a Wednesday night basketball game, like we need that. We need that intensity. We need that intensity for NBA basketball. As a Pistons fan, I'm gonna have to do that for the Rockets games now, because of this Jalen Green discourse that I don't like.
Yeah. Y'all have something there. That's something too. Because Jalen Green, he pulled up to the game on Instagram Live playing the bum bum bum, the all the 313 music, bum bum bum, and then he come up to the game wearing the Deion Sanders shirt, and oh man, that joke right there.
That man was playing Rio, the young OG, bro. You don't play that unless you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, bro. I respect it because, like, look, Detroit rap is hot. Michigan rap is hot right now. It's the wave. We love that. I love all of that. But he knew what he was doing, and I love it. But this whole Cade versus Jalen Green, I'm not gonna hear the end of this for a full decade. It's gonna be annoying, bro. Like it is what it is. But it's just like Luka Trae. You got like Luka versus Trae. For a while, it felt like you had to pick a side. It felt like you had to pick a side. First, second season, you had to pick a side, especially for the first 5. Ayton, Bagley, Jackson, Young, Luka. Like every team that didn't pick Luka had to defend themselves. Well, the Kings, they messed up. It's whatever. But like now Suns fans are like, no, Ayton's a really good player. Like the Ayton, Suns are like, yeah, look, they didn't look that good at the first couple of years, but look, now he's really playing in the finals. He's making, and you're like, fair. But it took a couple of years because everybody was just like, yo, how y'all mess up? How y'all not know that Luka was gonna be one of the best players to ever do? Like it's one of those where it's like, yo, I have to go to bat for my player, because at that point it's just self-defense. Like, and that's how NBA Twitter and media is, and I get it. I've been in that shit for like 7 years, but that's just what it is.
Shout out to the WNBA side of things with Skylar Diggins-Smith this past week in New York. I don't know if any of you guys are aware of what happened this past week in New York with Skylar Diggins-Smith, but like
they've been like subtweeting each other, yeah.
And
the social media team's been getting involved. I've been seeing that.
Yeah. So in June, it was a big deal. She crossed up Dee Richards from the Liberty in Phoenix. And then like Kofie said, it was a big social media thing where Chris Williamson, shout out to Chris, he incited the whole thing on Twitter, and it like just went viral, and they're like, oh, y'all focusing on the wrong thing, and she's like, girl, shut up, y'all crab it. Like it went bad. So
didn't they lose that game?
Yeah. Phoenix lost the game. So New York,
that's why I was like,
the New York players like, y'all focus on the wrong thing. They took that L. Y'all need to focus on so and so. And then Skylar Diggins-Smith was like, y'all need to promote more than one player, because, they have Sabrina Ionescu, and all they promoted at the time was Sabrina Ionescu. So
Yeah.
everybody like, oh snap. So the next time they play was this past week on Wednesday. So Skylar Diggins-Smith comes into New York and she scores 27 points. Okay. And the girl that was tweeting her was hurt that game. So Sky is looking at the bench after every basket. So then they ask her in the post game, how did you think of Sky looking at the basket? I think our team took that personally, but we locked in next time. That ain't going to happen again. So Friday they play again in New York. With the COVID, they play back to back now. And
Yeah.
so Skylar is going off. And the girl is playing, the girl that was tweeting her. She going off. Oh, my gosh. 7 assists, 27 points again. 0 turnovers. She comes in, back-to-back possessions, 1 possession. She crossed up Sabrina Ionescu, went to the lane. They fouled her and won. And she screams and won at the bench when she goes to the free throw line. Next possession, Sabrina Ionescu comes down. She puts the clamps on Sabrina Ionescu. She throws up a break. Rebound, they bring the ball up. She gets the ball again. And this time she drives. And the girl who was tweeting her, you can't write up a better script. Hacks her, absolutely hacks her. And she yelled when she got hit. Nothing but net. I'm like, oh my gosh, she going in. Did she stare at the bench? I'm like, bro, Skylar Diggins-Smith is a Trae Young moment. It's a Trae Young moment.
She had an amazing week. That's what they said on Twitter. They said she had an amazing week.
Amazing week in New York. So
and that was that the one where it's like can't spell liberty without L? That's the tweet that stuck with me. I don't know. I don't know if that came from this team or not, but that's the one that stuck with me. And I've been like, but we need more of this in sports, man. We need. It's like
it grows the game.
Like you can talk trash without losing respect for your opponent. People, both you can have respect for your opponent, and you can just witty banter. The Trae Young bowed, like he wasn't like he didn't shoot the middle finger at Madison Square Garden. He was like trolling. He was like, I forget what he said about me. He said something that would make New Yorkers pissed. It was something about either Times Square or
it was something about like something about like shows or something like that they have down there. I forgot what it was like.
He's like, I'm in New York, and in New York, when the show's over, you bow. So I just
something like that.
Yeah, he said something like that.
But he also said something that like New Yorkers wouldn't get. I forget what he said, but he called Madison Square Garden Times Square, which is just not true. I don't know if he was serious about that, but yeah, he called Madison Square Garden Times Square, and like, and some of that, like, I've lived in Brooklyn since 2019. I was like, ooh, Knicks fans already hate you, bro. Now you messed. That's like when Andrew Yang said his favorite subway stop in New York was Times Square, and everybody was like, all right, we're not voting for you, bro. Like.
New Yorkers do not play that at all, bro. They don't play them boroughs. Them like, oh, you got the wrong borough. Like, out of here, boy. Hey, Malik knows.
There's a lot of pride in where people are from here, and I love it here. I'm a transplant, but like, I'm like, yo, I know I'm not gonna call MSG Times Square and expect to leave the crowd. Like, what you mean?
Malik, what you got?
So, let's just talk about the NBA in general, like the offseason moves. What's the Eastern Conference in general? What did you like from the teams, what they've done this season? I know the Heat made some moves. I feel like the Heat really kind of made the most moves. I mean, the Celtics made not many moves. The Knicks, I guess they signed Kemba and Evan. So what do you think of the landscape of the Eastern Conference? And where do you think the Hawks fit in there as well?
I like how the 76ers did absolutely nothing. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part.
They were supposed to do something too.
Everyone knew they was like, oh, Game 7, they gotta blow it up. And they're tweeting. It's crazy.
The Sixers are like, I know what we'll do. Let's sign Andre Drummond.
Did y'all see that video?
When Joel met him. Oh my gosh, that was gold.
Because I remember that. I remember that beef because I was like, I know we're on the like Joel is the better player, but yeah, Joel is doing this thing. Joel and Andre, bro. I was like, yo, that beef was hilarious. Where Joel was like, and I couldn't admit it at the time because he's on my team, so I was like, okay, Joel, you get on my nerves a little bit, but this is so funny. Like, but I think that the landscape hasn't it's changed at the level at where the Hawks are a little bit. You still got the Bucks and Nets are like at the top. You chasing them, but there are a lot of teams that are like the Heat. Like I like what the Heat did. You know, um, they got. I mean, Lowry's an upgrade over Dragic. Stuff like that. And then I like what the Bulls did, but again, this is a just for fun thing. Like the Bulls aren't like looking to make like a deep run right now, unless the Bulls fans think they are. I don't know. But it's like one of those things where it's like it doesn't really change much at the top. I think the Hawks did a good job in terms of like retaining John Collins, re-signing Lou Williams, re-signing those players that were like very integral to that like run because if they lost John Collins, what happens? I have no idea. Like that's kind of a weird thing. Who do you go?
I mean, okay, so here's my thing, Kofie. This is
Who
the
did you
thing
want?
I've been saying this all off season. John Collins got outplayed in the series by Bobby Portis in the conference.
Sure did.
I'm kind of looking at that. I'm looking at John Collins is amazing.
That's fair.
Amazing player. But it seems like he needs to be spoon-fed by Trae Young to play well. And it's like if Trae isn't on the floor, if Trae's not playing, then John Collins does it. Like it's a wild card. More times than that, he doesn't play well enough. That was my thing with John Collins.
That's totally fair. But I think that for Atlanta, I think the good thing was that they were able to like retain all of these people. And then they re-signed Lou Will, and then they got Sharif Cooper, who I think he's my favorite passer from that draft class. I love K, but Sharif Cooper, his lobs are magic. And then you get Jalen Johnson, who like really had a really good summer league, and the stock kind of fell a little bit because he just like didn't want to finish playing at Duke. Which fair. This is the worst Duke team of my existence. Like since 1995, I cannot remember a Duke team ever being that bad. Like that's a wild thing.
Didn't they make that? What about like what year was that? Like 2011, maybe 20. It was like early 2010s where they were in the NIT final. Or am I tripping?
That was UNC.
That was UNC. Okay.
As a Duke fan. Okay, so I grew up in Raleigh, so I grew up a Duke fan. So as a Duke fan, you're supposed to hate UNC. Now, that year when UNC didn't make the NCAA tournament was like very, very that was very rare. Because now Duke fans could be like, bro, you're not even in the tournament this year. What are y'all doing? Like, so they won. I think they won that NIT though, and then they like won the national championship like the next year or something crazy. And you were just like, well, at least that year was fun for like whatever. I can't remember a Duke team ever being that bad. And it's wild that like Coach K is retiring, and I don't know how good this Duke team will be. But yeah, they were just awful. And I'm just like, dude, this is I've never seen that in my since I'm 25. I've never seen that.
Who does Duke have coming in? Because they lost Jalen Johnson, Breakfield transferred to Ole Miss. Who do y'all have coming in? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what. Who do they have coming in? It might get
next season finna be the worst, right?
I'm not a Duke fan anymore because I went to Maryland for college, and Maryland was like, "Yeah, we can't have that."
Well, okay. Well, I guess speaking of Maryland, keeping you on that track, Game 7 Philly, going back to that series, how did you feel watching Kevin Huerter do what he did?
Oh, Red Velvet, it's good. It's good to watch. It was good watching Red Velvet. I did not think that Kevin Huerter would be in my time in college from 2013 to 2017, I did not think that Kevin Huerter would be the best player. And I'm saying that because, when I was in college, you had Jake Layman, you had Diamond Stone.
Shout out Diamond Stone, Hawks legend.
Yeah, you had Diamond Stone, you had Melo Trimble, like you had all these other like more heralded prospects like in college, and that was the Maryland team that was supposed to win it all. Like that was the Maryland team. Like it was number 1 in the preseason. Like that was the year. Nah, psych, bounced out Sweet 16, and it was good watching like Kevin Huerter because Kevin Huerter was only there for one season, so we were like, okay, well, I wish you the best. Like because the thing in my, I wasn't like, oh, you're not gonna, I wasn't like you're gonna be bad. I never said that, but I was just like, okay, I haven't been paying attention to Maryland basketball. This kid was good, and I hope that he ends up in the right situation. And ending up right next to Trae Young, and he's already like a really good perimeter defender. Like that's so good, and there's so much he can build off of that. So like I'm happy for him there, and this Hawks team, man, there's a lot to like be excited about. Like there really is a lot.
It's a funny thing. My friend. Oh, go ahead, Rashad.
I'm sorry, Malik. One more Maryland question. One more.
Good.
Have you given
Yeah.
up on Bruno Fernando yet?
Isn't that man like 21?
Yes.
How old is that, bro? He's like 20. I'm not gonna give up on any. He's 23. All right. I'm not gonna give up on any NBA player younger than 25. I always feel like until you turn 25, there's always like hey man, maybe this just isn't the right fit. Hey man, maybe there just isn't. You're not in the right system. Maybe the organization isn't run well. That's also very important. Like, and that's something that I feel like for a lot of players where the difference between being out of the league and being a like competent role player is based on situation, because there's a lot of not room for error, but there's a lot of competition, especially for those kind of spots. So until you're like 25, 27, like I'm not gonna like give up hope for you. I feel like we as basketball fans like cast players aside too often, and then like 2 years later we're like, oh damn, they're actually contributing on this team. Like what happened? I'm like, well, you weren't on the Pistons, bro. Like, it's just stuff like that where it's just like you weren't on this team that was not good. So yeah, I'm gonna hold my head high, because sometimes you just like it's just depth chart stuff, and other times it's just like other times is actually them not being that good. But I'm always gonna hold out hope for stuff like that.
Yeah, I was saying my friend, he used to be like a big Roscoe Dash fan, but after Roscoe Dash was like the no hands and all that other stuff, and like recently he told me that Roscoe Dash and Kevin Huerter are like hanging out now, and I was like, wow, bro, like that's the weirdest. He sent me a video. Let me see if I can show you. Yo, they're literally hanging out, bro. Like they're friends. I don't know.
Yo, remember when Roscoe Dash was a double XL freshman like 5 years after?
Bro, he was on the freshman list after his run. I was like, why is he on that?
I was like, why is he here? Like, you should have been here at 3 years ago. Maybe. I don't know. I think it was a 2012 class, bro, and I was like,
he was on the list with Matt Diggy and Lil Twitch. That was 2011 with Mac Miller and Diggy and Lil B and them. I love that class, 2011. That's my favorite
Roscoe was 2012.
He wasn't
2011.
Who's that? Macklemore.
2012 is Future, Kid Ink, Danny Brown, French Montana, Macklemore, Don Tripp, Machine Gun Kelly, Hobson, and Iggy Azalea.
That's a
Hobson, yo, I remember.
That's a wild
That's
class.
Crazy.
That's a terrible. I mean, they had a run though for a couple years. Everybody had at least one big hit. That was a good call on Iggy Azalea, like, because that was 2 years before she was like a pop star. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That was a good call on her, but
that's actually not. It's like not for long term. But
you got Future.
Short term, that was like
did
a
you
good
say
class.
Future was on the list?
You got Future. You got Future and Danny Brown are the lawn state, the mainstays.
Danny Brown, yeah.
You know that this class is stronger than we give it credit for, but it also has Hobson in it, so I don't.
Them kids, man, they thought Hobson was it, man. If you've been in college at that era, man, you ride with one of them. You know,
I enjoy
ain't gonna
watching
say
his
no
music
specifics,
videos.
but if you ride with one of them in the car, they go, "Hey, bro, have you heard Hobson? He's the best rapper in the world, man." And they play Hobson the rest of the ride, man.
I was one of them for like 3 months, but I had never like heard a full Hobson album. I had just heard like the ill mind of Hobson, and I was like, you know what? How old was I? 17. I was like, you know what? 17-year-old me, I get it.
Impressionable mind.
Yeah, yeah.
He was going off though. He was going off. I'm not gonna lie. Hobson was going, and it was something different. You know, that was in the era of Trinidad James, all gold, everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you go from an era of and then you have some dude spherical era to miracle, what's happening in the hospitals
with the
what
weird
are the kids
music
eating for lunch?
Bro, crazy.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing about like certain types of rap now. Is like, yeah, you might rap better, but if you try to be like, oh man, all these other rappers, they're not. I'm like, yo, you just come off as bitter. I mean, like, I could read the dictionary if I wanted to. Like, I don't need you to be like, oh, I'm better than you. Let me also read the dictionary at 130 words per minute. Like, I don't. Because people think that kind of rap also isn't repetitive. It is. It gets repetitive too. Like, a lot of rap gets repetitive, but just don't act like your shit isn't as repetitive because you rap fast. Like, is still fast. Got it. Anyway.
Are you gonna listen to Donda? I gotta ask.
I got like 9 songs in. And was just like, it's the same problems that I have with like a lot of Kanye albums, where it's like, so for the last like 4 years, I feel like it's Kanye does this thing, and this might be just my opinion. Kanye does this thing where I feel like I like the Kanye song until Kanye starts rapping. And these are songs with like features in it, you know, where it's like the features are doing their thing, everything, and then Kanye starts rapping about God knows what, and it's like, yo, this is a good feature. Why are we, you know? Some of the Donda songs are too like, and some songs are just too long. That's all. Like it's Kanye doesn't make me like be like, oh bro, you absolutely just ruined the song. I'm not that only happens in a few cases where it's like this song is now unlistenable. But I'm just like, damn, sometimes I wish that Kanye would just like take a Khaled route and be like, I have such great production. He's always on the forefront of hip hop production, whether you think it's good or whether you think it's not. He views good songs and good albums by how much he experiments and tries to push the needle. And Donda has really good production, and he also found really good features. And the way he like works with them, he gets the best out of every feature by sometimes making them like rewrite their verse.
My beautiful
sometimes
dark
getting them into another mindset. Yeah, and then sometimes he just gets them in like a newer like mindset or whatever, so he brings the best out. Like that's like Donda has Fabio Foreign's like best verse that I've ever heard him say.
That man snap.
He went for 2. I don't know anyone else that could get that out of Fabio, low key. And then, but that's the thing. It's like you're like, oh, this feature's great, and then Kanye's just out here doing he's out here just doing God knows what, and you know he's a wild card. You know he always will be a wild card, but sometimes that's for the best, and sometimes it's for the worst. So that's my like main thing where I'm just like, you never know what you're gonna get, but sometimes it's like takes away from the project. I think
Kofie,
that might be a controversial take.
You know why it's a controversial take? That's how Kanye's career started. So you going back to 2002 when people when Kanye I'm a rapper, and everybody calling this man a producer. You going to that take? The 2002 take?
No, that's not the 2002 take. It's the fact, dude, from 2002 up until I think when we got to 2016, we could bring that take back and
Jesus?
be like, not after no after Jesus, after like when like Yay and Jesus is King, and you're just
I don't
like,
like
bro,
Jesus. I don't like
Okay.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
you don't like
I
Jesus?
think
I don't like
I
Jesus
think
either.
Jesus is when it stopped, bro.
I
2013.
don't hate Jesus. But I think my thing is that at that point you're just like, um, some of this music is good, and some of this is freaking incoherent, and like and you're just like, but that's a Kanye album now, like it changed. That's all. It's just like, but again, in the streaming era, when I get a project and I keep the songs I like, and then just so like it doesn't really mean that much to me anymore. Like if he was making like Donda, or like making a project like this in like 2004, and I had to like play this in a Subaru, and I had to like keep skipping songs that I didn't like, I'd be more upset. But this is more like a Spotify where it's like, all right, I'll just keep these songs and throw these ones out. Like, but that's like all music nowadays. So like Kanye, like I think gets in his own way now of like making a very like coherent project. Also, this is 27 songs. I don't think any rap album should be over 15. So that's also another thing that I'm just like, yeah, but
I
it's
like
fine
long
so
form
far.
projects. I like long songs, like the Childish Gambino song, the 3:15:20. Like he had 6 minute
Uh,
songs on there. I love that.
yeah,
I love 6 minute, 7 minute
that's
songs.
hey
Go
man,
ahead,
that's
bro.
like I'm not gonna criticize. That's like at that like for those like if there's a song that long, bro, there needs to be a fire guitar solo or something like to break it up or
I
something
don't want to hear the hook the
or
whole
a beat
time.
or a
That's why I
beat
don't like long
switch
songs.
or a beat switch. If it's a song that long, I need a beat switch, or I need I need a change of like, oh, now we're going to this part of the song, like everybody. And that's why Off the Grid, when in for like a minute and 30, I was like when I first played, I was like, this song is 5 minutes, over 5 minutes, and then it broke up the beat. They started adding drill, and I was like, this is the progression that we love. This is what I need. Like, and now that's a Kanye song where it's like, this is a progression. Like, he knows that this song is long. Let me switch it up. Let me add some new stuff. Like, whatever. So I'm very mixed, but it is what it is.
I hate to bring up some more controversy, but I think Drake is the best at doing that with long songs.
I ain't nobody trying to. I'm telling you right now, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear. Ain't nobody trying to hear Certified Lover Boy, bro. Like people gonna listen to it just because it's Drake, but they do this every single time, and then
I'm
they
gonna
want to
listen
get
to it.
upset. But then everybody gonna want to
It
get.
should have dropped last year.
They're gonna get all frustrated with it because they're like, all right, it's all right. Okay. Well, at what point of life do you realize Drake doesn't make great albums? He doesn't make cohesive projects. At what point do you accept that fact that he's a great
Okay,
singles person? But he
Drake,
doesn't make
Drake.
cohesive.
So Drake never did that really, except for like Take Care. Nothing was the same.
Exactly.
Kanye stopped doing that. So now we're in the same place.
That's a
If neither of them are making coherent albums,
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
but again,
Like for Pablo was kind of cohesive.
it was kind of cohesive after he fixed it 3 times. Or like, sorry, that man was Google driving an album, bro. That man was whatever. Like
He's about to do the same with this one. You saw the Instagram post. He said the label put it
and
out without my permission.
and again, I have this is again, if you wanna fix an album afterwards because you couldn't do that 10 years ago, if you want to do that here, be my guest. I do not care. If that's the way that keeps people interested in your album, that's fine. Like I did, that's fun. It's just funny. It's you can't be like, you can't say it's not funny when an artist project of work gets released, and it's like, you know what, let me fix it. Instead of working on the next project, they're like, I'm just gonna take this out. I'm gonna take this part 2 of it. It's funny. I'm sorry. I find it hilarious. But the thing is that Drake, like Drake, the albums don't have to be coherent as long as he has those 1, 2, 3 hits. Like if you have those 1, 2, 3 hits, we don't care. Like we don't
And
care
that's
about
great. And that's great for Drake. That's great for Drake.
it's
I'm just saying, in the
that's
all-time
yeah.
discussions that he wants to be in, and what people like Malik, who hype up Drake to be something he's not, you got to look at the
Because he
albums. Like
is.
the
Nah, you
albums
gotta
count, the
nah.
projects count, in my opinion.
I
But if you're reading
the
This Is Too Late,
projects.
to be a throwaway was amazing. That was
Yes, it
amazing.
was. Yeah,
Cohesive, bangers, the whole nine. I love his
What
version.
albums
and
do
it was
you not think
short.
are cohesive? What
Scorpion,
albums are not cohesive in your opinion? Because
Scorpion.
I mean, Scorpion was the only. I can't. I mean, other than that, like
You think
using
More
some
Life was cohesive?
more. Okay, more life was more like a mixtape to me. That was more like a mixtape to me.
Okay, so
But
now
Views is cohesive. Take Care. If we what Views
Views
wasn't
was
cohesive.
I'm
Views
saying
was
like when I listen to like another artist, an artist that has one song connecting to the next, like it all feels like you're listening to like one long song. I've never
Cole.
felt that, like, other than like Kofie said, like Take Care, and nothing was the same as the exact same structure as Take
I'll
Care.
give Nothing Was the Same. Yeah, and then If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. So like again, you have your hits and you have your misses, and again, I'm not like Team Drake or Team Kanye here. Like I have enough songs from both to be like, I do not care about this beef at all. This is one of the stupidest things. Like Kanye gave me Graduation, and then Drake gave me Nothing Was the Same. Like I'm totally fine. Just like, but it's one of those things where I feel like in rap, you can get too old. Like you can get too old in rap, and it only happens for certain people. Like I feel because Kanye's 44. Like you can. What will we want to hear a rapping Kanye album at 50? I think we need to
Heck
honestly.
no.
Jay is 51.
I
Jay is
think we
51.
honest. Jay's 51. His last album was when? 4
4
years
years
ago.
ago.
What is a 50-year-old Jay gonna rap about now? What
Family.
I'm not
Family.
trying I'm not trying to like say that Jay-Z wouldn't make a good album. That's not what I'm saying. But what would a 50-year-old Jay-Z, and if you said family, the last person that tried to rap about family, we got him the fuck out the paint. And I don't even have to tell you who this is because we already know.
Everybody already knows who it is, man.
I think that in rap there are a lot of rappers where once they make it to where they are, they run out of stuff to rap about. And like it's not their fault. It's just that when you grow up making like relatable music and you're being like relatable to people, as soon as you get to that like that height, that tier where your entire life stops being relatable to everybody involved, then you kind of get that. It's kind of weird. Like
Uh,
I think about Logic, where
Logic is a perfect example of that.
Logic's mixtapes up until Under Pressure, it was like I was like, yo, this is so great music. After that, he made two of the worst albums I've ever heard in my life, right? But that was because but he was also just talking about like again, he was talking about stuff that he goes through that nobody else can relate to. And then he kind of brought it back on No Pressure. There's this song there that sticks with me where he's like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, what do y'all want to talk? What do y'all want me to talk about? Like I have a
When
kid.
he was talking about,
I
he's
go to
like,
Target.
I take my kid to the store and buy some Pampers,
Right.
and then a fan walks up and wants to shake my hand, and I shake his hand, and
Yeah, I'm like Logic, you're making a great point. But I'm serious. Logic, he's a different person now, and his life is not as relatable to his fan base anymore. Like it's stuff like that. So again, I feel like certain rappers they run out of stuff when their lifestyles change. They run out of stuff to rap about, and it's no one's fault. But at that point, it's like when you stop being like, if you stop being able to like reach your fans, is it time to hang it up? Or is it time, or are you gonna keep making bad album after bad album?
to a lesser extent, I definitely see the same thing with Super Duper Cow. Like Cow came up, he had really good underground music, and then I Spy happens, and he can't make a good project anymore. And it's like you used to make good projects before I Spy.
I don't I don't disagree, but I also don't agree either. I think Kyle he's made some really fun projects, but also the era that he came up in is gone.
Oh,
That whole the
oh,
backpacker shit, like when we were listening to like XV and Shitty Bang, like that era's gone.
Eddie Allen.
Yes, like that era's not here. Like Diggy Simmons, not here. Like that whole era, yeah, like Yellow Wolf, not here. I'm going through the entire 2011 XXL. That era is just not here. So I feel like for that era specifically, you like had to adapt, or you were gonna get labeled as a backpack frat rapper, and then everybody was like, "Nah, that's not cool anymore." So that's why I'm so glad that like Mac Miller evolved from that and like improved and got better with every project. Tyler the Creator evolved from that, improved,
perfect.
but the people that didn't, because that was just a it was just a it was a error in hip hop that it was like it's very hard to be like some stuff is still there, but like a lot of that everybody like turned around and was like, nah, this is corny now. Like,
Well, I mean, but do you also think that it's just our age group? Like, because our age group at that time, we were high school seniors, college freshmen, sophomores. That was our lifestyle, the stuff they were rapping about. And then you grow up and you're 26 and they're still rapping about, hey, yeah, I got these girls. And then you're like, dude, like, what? We're 26 now. Do you
I
think it's
think
like their fan base age?
I think that we are in an age group. Well, we're in an age group where um a lot of what's cool and what's not progresses so fast. When you think about if you were talking to anyone not in our age group and anyone older, you could have they could be like, oh yeah, Vine lasted for a decade. Vine lasted for 4 years, right? Like you with how much of an impact that Vine had, you wouldn't think that Vine lasted like the same as a presidential term. Like stuff like that where it's just like, and now like a lot of stuff that like is cool one year is like just the exact opposite the next year. Like, I remember remember the Pharrell song Happy? When that first came out, it was all over the place. And then next summer, everybody was like, yo, do not play that Happy song. I swear to God. Like, we live in an era where like people just switch on stuff instantly, being like, "Oh, that's not cool anymore. No, that's out. That's out." And I don't know if that has accelerated faster than previous generations before us, but I think that with social media and all the quick videos and how fast trends just like rise and fall, like I can name so many trends where like even after like 2 months, everybody was like, "I hate that dude," or "I hate this trend." Like Damn Daniel, 2 months, bam, gone. All these trends, man, that you see. Crate challenge, give it 2 months. We still gonna be falling on our asses? I don't know. I don't think so. Stuff like that where it's just so the thing we apply to those kind of trends, I feel like we also apply it to music. And that's why it bugs me when someone's like, man, that album really came and went. I'm like, bro, 7 albums dropped that day. Like, you're gonna pick what you
I
like.
feel like Cole came and went. And I don't want to get too into music, too far off track, but Cole came
Cole?
and went. And when I saw that, I was kind of like, dang, that's kind of crazy because like he was the talk of the timeline when he dropped. And then, but like something that didn't come and go, Tyler. Tyler stayed around. His album was relevant for a month and a half.
I think the
Man, I
artist
bump that Cole every day still. I'm the only.
I think that each one of us we have an artist and we have a project that we play we put on repeat. So for me, it's the life of Pierre. It's like the life of Pierre 5. Like I play Pierre a lot, like for that. And I think that the artist that kind of just like encapsulates how much music has changed, and it's one of the most fascinating things, I want to say, is Jay Electronica, because when he made Exhibit C back in like 2000, maybe 9 or 10, right? and he didn't make music for a long time. And the music industry had changed so much that by the time that he released this music, it just came and went. A full decade of hype, mystery, intrigue, all out the window instantly. And it's like one of the wildest things I've seen. And I'm just like, dang, man, that's crazy.
It kind of reminds me of is it Carter 4? Carter 5? Whatever the last Carter was.
Yeah.
Like bro, like the way it was just like delayed for so many years. It was like at this point, whatever he had going on, like when it was supposed to drop, like it's probably not gonna hit now because it's just everything has changed at this point. So I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard many people talk about it like that. So
I think that for us music, it's like when an album drops, a couple of songs will be put on the best rap songs of right now. They'll be put on that playlist, and then whatever other song is up to you to keep. But we're not all like, we'll talk about it for a week, but like music gets released so often nowadays, and there's so many platforms for it too: SoundCloud, YouTube Music, Spotify, all that. You'll be put on a trending page for a little bit, but then we just move on to the next trend immediately. So yeah.
You got something, Rashad?
No, I'm pretty much good. I'm pretty much good on this side.
Oh, cool. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just about to ask you the thing that we always kind of close with is asking everybody's Hawks Mount Rushmore. So if you had to give your Atlanta Hawks Mount Rushmore, and then if you want to do a bonus, Detroit Pistons Mount Rushmore, be our guest. But first, the Atlanta Hawks.
All right, I'm gonna do Trae, of course, obviously. Then we're gonna go with Wilkins. I feel like I have to do that. I'm gonna go with Spud Webb. We're just going off of fun here. And then the Hawks organist, I forget his name. I'm gonna add him.
Sir Foster. My
Sir Foster,
boy.
yeah. Sir Foster.
Sir
Foster. Am I the first person to ever say Sir Foster?
You're the first.
Yes, you are. You are.
That man be playing them hits, boy. I'm telling you. It would be like Wednesday at NBA. I'm like, bro, this man playing Bad and Bougie on the organ. I'm like, bro,
Sir Foster, that's my guy.
I'm like, yeah, he definitely on the Mount Rushmore, bro. Come on. I think first of all, he the only. I was like, yeah, because there are certain songs where I'll just be watching the Hawks game. I'm like, hey man, how the organists know how to do this? Like, like this song just came out. How you playing this right now? Like, it's like he's so talented, man. I'm mad that I forgot his like name, bro. But I'm like, yeah, that man's special. Pistons Mount Rushmore. We're gonna go with Ben Wallace, obviously. Ben Wallace. We're gonna go with Jesus, man. So many. Tayshaun Prince. I'm going to Tayshaun Prince because of the Reggie Miller block. That was Reggie Miller block. Just off that, we're gonna go with Rip Hamilton, of course. I'm going off of style. I'm not going off of talent. My Mount Rushmore ain't about.
No, but I'm saying it's your room's running out, man. Your room's running out.
You got one more.
My Pistons. My Mount Rushmore isn't about. It's about the people I enjoy, and I'm like, yeah. Now there are certain people that I have to leave off of this list for accusations.
True. Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Yeah, I have to leave people off of this list. So Jesus. Let me go with. See, now you see how this makes the list tougher. I'm gonna go with Grant Hill. I'm gonna go Grant Hill. Just off of the potential. It was just like it's like a classic Pistons. What could have been? But yeah, there are certain people I have to exclude off of that list, and yeah, so that's always yeah.
What's your I don't know if you said it earlier when we were talking about the Pistons, but your favorite Pistons season. So ever.
The championship when we got Karl Malone and Gary Payton the fuck up out of there. They were trying to ring chase before everybody did, and they were like, "Nah, Pistons in 5." That's great. You can't like that. You know, the only other Pistons season that I would name that was because all the other those other 2 championships were before I was born. So I have to go with the championship season. Like, but you know, Robert Ory killed us with that shot. You know, still not over that. We'll never be over that.
But that was ring number 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, for ring or whatever ring it was. It wasn't.
Was he on the
ours,
017? Was he on the 017?
So the Pistons, I think it was just 2000s.
That was 05 when Horry hit the shot on y'all.
So 04 is the championship. Yeah. Okay,
04
that's
is the
fair.
championship.
And then
Horry hit the shot.
And then 2007 the Spurs won, and then the Heat won in 2006.
So was Horry on the San Antonio 07?
Yeah, or he's on the Spurs when he hit that shot. And then, you know, that dynasty got ended when LeBron decided to score 48 points. Like, so, you know, gotta go to the championship.
That's one of my. I hate that it happened to y'all, but that was one of my favorite games. Like
that was the true, like, even though I'm a Pistons fan, I was like, that was a true, like, a whole era died.
Yeah,
a whole era, like that team was never the same again. Like that's, you know, I'm glad that we got that championship when the window. In that window, but I saw that Malice in the Palace doc, and all the Pacers were like, "Yo, this is our window," or whatever. That doc's interesting. It's interesting because, you know, Jermaine O'Neal executive produced that, and then they only found one Piston to interview, and it was Ben Wallace. I wish when documentaries release like this, I wish they could have found like more players on the Pistons just to talk about it. I'm not saying just not to skew the narrative. I'm like, I would have liked to hear from Rashad. I would have liked to hear from Rip or Tayshaun or anyone else on the court. You know, they got like the one Pistons fan that like was a complete dick, and I was like, during that documentary, when the Pistons fan kept talking, I was like, bro, shut up! Like, you're making us look bad, dude. Like, you're making us look terrible, bro. But no, it was good to like just watch that documentary because you understood where the Pacers were coming from because I didn't. It was hard to grasp. Like, it was hard to grasp like that window because Jermaine O'Neal was really like not the same after that. Like a lot of their like
he lost the most out of everybody. Like
I think Jermaine
was
O'Neal
crazy.
lost the most.
Took the biggest L.
And I didn't think about that because Steven Jackson went on to win a championship somewhere else. Artest won a championship somewhere else. Reggie Miller retired, and that was the core. And Jermaine just did not, you know. And so it's like, I know he executive produced it, but I was also like, yeah, you're not wrong here. Like, yeah, you lost the most. So, yeah.
All right. I guess me and Rashad will go with our Hawks Mount Rushmore. I guess I'm gonna keep mine the same. We do this every week, so mine is Neek, Joe Johnson, Al Horford, and Jeff Teague.
You out here watching Al Horford highlights, bro?
Nah, I'm not watching the highlights, but I feel like during the stretch he was there. Like during the stretch he was there, I felt like he was kind of one of the most important Hawks. So I just gotta give it to him.
Yeah, dude, that 60-win Hawks team is like, you look back and you're just like, bro. Because it was like, did y'all really think that y'all had a shot?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Back then, because
for sure.
Because it was like the police beat Tabo, and then Damari Carroll got hurt, and those are the two guys that, because I watched their games. The game when Dominique had a statue unveiled, that was against Cleveland. They gave out, it was a whiteout with the Dominique shirts, and the Hawks killed the Cavs. I'm like, yo, like Damari and Tabo were just doing their thing on Bron. You know what I'm saying? Like Bron obviously gonna get his, but it was like fairly, just made sense a little bit more. It's reasonable.
I think the fact that like it was a sweep makes everybody look back at it being like, yo,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Was this the most unserious 60-win team of all time? That's what people say, But you guys are like, yeah, the NYPD beat the Sabo Cephalosha. I forgot that part. We don't talk about that part. We talk about
and
the fact
Damari
that
Carroll got hurt as well. So it was like
Yeah.
those were the two main guys on LeBron, and both of those guys got hurt for that series. So it was like Bron just ran rampant with Kyle Korver trying to chase him down. There's no chance.
Those are
Kent
good points.
Bazemore.
Yeah, bro. Y'all, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
I knew what it was. But you let everybody else tell the side of the story. Oh, the Hawks, they were a fluke. And okay, all right.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
And it makes sense looking back
as a non-Hawks fan. It's funny.
We went back to just the statistics that year, and Kyle Korver made the All-Star team averaging 12 points that season, placing Dwayne Wade. It's kind of crazy looking back on it.
And then, but that was like a LeBron on a mission still year. And like I don't fault any Eastern Conference team that lost to like LeBron in the playoffs. Like it's LeBron, bro. Like I get it.
The Hawks had a chance that year. If Thabo if the police don't beat Thabo, and they have the people who guarded LeBron in the regular season, I think the Hawks have a chance. I mean, I don't know if they win the series. It's not a sweep though.
They'll probably get 2 games.
Yeah, definitely.
They'll probably get 2 games.
People will respect the team more if they take them to 6 games and the 6th game is competitive before LeBron takes over and wins the game.
God, that was such a balanced team too. Millsap, Horford.
Yeah,
dude, that was a balanced team.
Schroeder.
Yeah. Schroeder was there. Yeah.
He was the 6th man.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
What it is, yeah.
My Mount Rushmore, I have Joe, Trae, Dikembe, and Wilkins as always. So that's my 4th still.
I love that. I love that Trae is already on 2 of ours. I love that.
Because the Atlanta Hawks, since they moved to Atlanta, obviously, they haven't won an Eastern Conference game. His first Eastern Conference Finals game, he pours 48 points, and they win. Yeah. That alone is like you haven't won an Eastern Conference Finals game, and he won you 2.
You stamped, bro. You stamped in Hawks history. That's totally fair.
But yeah, that's all I have, Malik. Is that it for you?
That's it. Kofie, we appreciate you for coming on. Great episode.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
For sure. So just go around, tell everybody where they can find you, socials, all of that.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Kofie, Kofie. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/chillkofie. And then you can find me on Secret Base's YouTube channel. I make a show called Fumble Dimension. We just mess around with video games. It's a pretty fun series, in my opinion. I'm not biased or nothing, but you can find it on YouTube or something like that. I think that's all I got. Yeah, I deleted Facebook a year ago. That's all I got. We don't need that. we don't need all that. We're good.
Make sure y'all follow Kofie on everything. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram at _Malik ATL, and make sure you subscribe, like, follow everything to Atlanta Sports Unlimited.
Like Malik says, subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Subscribe to my man's Kofie on Twitch. Make sure you donate them special subs. Oh, the whole 9, man. Whole 9. Spam W's in this chat. Everything. Tell them we sent you. Everything like that, man. Hey. RashadMiller.com. You can follow me on Twitter at 3_Kennedy Carter, man. Hey, until next time, y'all have a great week.
And if they come out clean.